Hello, everyone. In today's video, Larry will be covering an incredible technique that he calls the 20-second rule, which can change the way we think about our daily tasks and habits. So with that being said, let's jump right into the video.
Let's face it, we all have our moments of procrastination, and that's perfectly natural. However, these lapses in motivation often lead us to indulge in our less than ideal habits. When we're stressed, tired, or simply feeling lazy, we tend to avoid tasks that require effort and opt for whatever's convenient. This tendency becomes our default behavior, much like the preset settings on a new phone. In our lives, we all have established behaviors that have become our defaults. Whether they are positive, such as reading or learning new skills, or negative, like smoking and endlessly scrolling through social media. Instead of accepting all our behaviors as defaults, we should take a closer look at the ones that aren't serving us. Just as we can change our phone settings, we can adjust our behavior, and surprisingly, our lazy tendencies can work in our favor. This is where the 20-second rule comes into play. In Shawn Achor's book, The Happiness Advantage, he shared his struggle with changing behavior. He had a clear goal. He wanted to practice his guitar more and reduce his TV watching time. However, like many of us, simply deciding to make the change wasn't enough to act on it. His guitar remained in the closet, and TV remained his go-to option. Shawn realized he needed to disrupt his default behavior to make any progress. He noticed that the 20 seconds it took to retrieve his guitar from the closet discouraged him from playing it. To overcome this hurdle, he moved the guitar to a stand in the living room, making it readily accessible. Now, picking up and practicing the guitar required minimal effort. Shawn applied a similar approach to his TV habit. He removed the batteries from the remote control and placed them in another room. When he instinctively reached for the remote, he'd forget about the missing batteries and opt for his guitar instead, which was conveniently nearby. This small change helped him break his default TV watching behavior. Shawn coined this approach, the 20-second rule. Essentially, he made playing the guitar 20 seconds easier and watching TV 20 seconds harder. This strategy can be applied to any behavior you want to change. Although the 20-second time frame is not set in stone, the idea is to reduce barriers to positive activities and increase obstacles to negative ones. While this may seem straightforward, many of us overlook this powerful tool. Our surroundings play a significant role in shaping our behavior. The hardest part of any activity is often getting started, and the more effort it requires, the less likely we are to begin, especially when feeling tired or lazy. For instance, watching TV demands little activation energy. You grab the remote and settle on the couch. On the other hand, starting a workout requires more activation energy. However, the actual workout isn't as challenging as the pre-workout preparations. Breaking down these barriers can make it easier to engage in positive behaviors. Let's start by acknowledging that many activities come with their fair share of inconveniences. Take going to the gym, for instance. First, you need to prep your gym bag, put on your workout shoes, then make the trek to the gym, and that's just the beginning. These hurdles can make even the thought of working out seem like an ordeal. But what if we could streamline some of these steps, or at the very least, make them more manageable? By doing so, we can significantly reduce the activation energy needed to kickstart these activities. This principle applies to almost any task. Most activities aren't inherently difficult. They just demand a bit more effort to initiate. Once you overcome that initial resistance and get into the groove, it becomes much easier to keep going, even if you don't particularly relish the activity. Lowering the activation energy required to initiate a behavior can drastically increase the likelihood of you following through with it. This is particularly important because even if you genuinely enjoy an activity, excessive friction in the beginning stages can lead you to opt for something more effortless. For example, I personally love going on long bike rides to de-stress. It's an activity that always helps me unwind, especially when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. However, I often find myself hesitating before each ride because I need to retrieve my bike from the basement. It's a minor 3-minute task, but sometimes it's enough to deter me. Logically, it doesn't make sense for 3 minutes of preparation to discourage me from something I know I'll enjoy. But it's a testament to our inherent laziness. We often opt for the easier, more convenient option. To illustrate this point further, I occasionally spend an entire day stressed simply because I didn't take that bike ride, which I know would help me de-stress. In these moments, I tend to default to the easy and convenient option, even though I know it won't solve my problem. This example might seem trivial, but it demonstrates how inconvenience can dictate our actions. By now, you probably understand how our surroundings influence our behavior. You might even have some ideas on how to use this knowledge to your advantage. Let me provide a few common problems people face and how the 20-second rule can be applied to overcome them. If you want to exercise more regularly, consider finding a gym that's conveniently located, ideally along your daily commute. This way, you can hit the gym either before or after work without the burden of a lengthy drive. Also, make it a habit to prepare your gym bag or any required gear in advance. This way, when the exercise mood strikes, you won't have to scramble to gather everything you need. Some individuals prefer to sleep in their gym clothes so that when they wake up, they're already dressed for a workout. This eliminates the morning struggle to motivate oneself to change into workout gear. When it comes to maintaining a healthy diet, try purging your home of unhealthy foods. With only nutritious options at your disposal, you're less likely to resort to unhealthy pre-packaged alternatives when you're hungry and don't feel like cooking. The additional effort required to fetch unhealthy options will deter you from making less healthy choices. In essence, the 20-second rule revolves around making desirable behaviors more accessible and reducing the obstacles to starting them. By applying this principle, you can empower yourself to embrace positive changes in your life. Now, if you're someone who still finds it hard to resist the allure of junk food, consider a practical strategy. Prepare your healthy meals in advance, perhaps on a relaxing Sunday, and reheat them during the week. By doing this, you significantly lower the activation energy required to opt for a nutritious meal when those cravings hit. Your healthy meal is already waiting for you, making it a convenient choice. Another common issue, often overlooked, is unintentional phone use when you're trying to work or study. Chances are your phone is always within arm's reach, tempting you to pick it up whenever you encounter a brief moment of boredom. It's become a major distraction, diverting our focus from important tasks. To counter this, create a barrier by placing your phone in another room or somewhere out of sight and reach. If you genuinely need it for something important, you'll have to physically get up to retrieve it, which often leads to realizing you don't need to check your phone as frequently. For those who rely on their phones or computers for work, modifying your device's software can be effective. If you're battling excessive social media use, consider deleting the apps or moving them to a less accessible folder. Optimize your home screen for work-related tasks. This approach not only reduces the chances of unintentional social media use, but also simplifies access to work-related apps. Similarly, for computer use, segregate work and leisure by creating separate user profiles. One profile is tailored for work productivity, while the other is designed for relaxation and enjoyment. This way, when it's time to work, you stay focused without distractions, and when you want to unwind, there are no reminders of work to interrupt your leisure time. These are just a few examples of how you can adjust activation energy in your life, but there are countless other possibilities. You'll need to consider your own circumstances and identify where you can implement changes. The 20-second rule might not be a universal solution, but it empowers you to take more intentional control of your behavior rather than falling into default patterns. Certainly, there will still be days when you're drawn to watch TV or encounter minor obstacles like fetching batteries from another room. However, The key is to become aware of your default behaviors and regain control over them, rather than being dictated by convenience in the moment. So, I encourage you to evaluate your surroundings and identify opportunities where you can either add or reduce those crucial 20 seconds of activation energy. Remember, getting started is often the most challenging part of any task. Make the behaviors you desire easy to initiate and the unwanted ones challenging. This approach will enable you to master your own behavior. Now, let's make one activity even more accessible for you: learning. I recommend checking out today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform offering a wide range of classes, covering everything from business and software design to creativity. Regardless of your current skill level, Skillshare has something valuable to offer, whether you're a beginner or an experienced learner. With so many classes available, it can be overwhelming to choose where to start. To simplify your decision, I suggest beginning with Thomas Frank's class on habit formation, a crucial skill in every aspect of life. To make it even easier for you to begin, I've conveniently placed a link to Skillshare down below. To ensure consistent learning, consider bookmarking Skillshare's page or even setting it as your homepage. Reducing the activation energy required to start learning is essential because you want to streamline your habits and eliminate unnecessary barriers, such as having to search for the right resources. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you've gained new insights today, and I'm here to support you on your journey. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this.